morning, Misfits. Let's turn that down a little bit. Jeez, that is loud. All right, I can hear myself hitting those red lines. Nope, too much. Lines. There we go. Good morning, 217 Mega Mom, Cynthia Mangles, Great Guy Gary, Hollywood, Han Jen Cock, Rhodes Head, Bumba is in the chat. Eocock Samuel, not Samuel. It's Samuel. See how it's spelled? Samuel. The lighting. I have the lighting. There we go. No. Better. There. Ooh. Perfect. I know you can see my little battle scar on my face. Don't do construction. I almost not killed myself. I almost shot a hole in my hand last night. That was fun. Oh my! Look, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm tired. I'm freaking tired. Not that gay way, right? I'm tired. I'm so tired. No, I mean I'm actually tired. Like I'm physically exhausted, and I love being physically exhausted. I thrive in this environment where I'm pushing myself. But look, I have a lot of guns, and maybe this is probably my fault. I probably shouldn't have touched a gun when I was tired, right? But I did. I'll show you what I mean. This wasn't planned. Stop the fraud and I'll sue. I know somebody in the chat earlier was saying like I love the thumbnail or headline or whatever. If you guys don't get this reference, you're too young and you don't know great cinema. Okay, this is a reference to Rocky 5, the one after Draco, the one with Tommy. What is it? Was it Tommy something? Can't remember his name. The actor who played that guy was a real boxer. He was also a big piece of crap. Anyway. There's this scene from the end of Rocky 5 where like the Don King character, he's touch me and I'll sue. Touch me and I'll sue. And then Rocky whacks him and he goes, sue me for what? So we got Gavin Newsom in the classic fur coat and me as Rocky. But yeah, we'll get to that story. Gavin Newsom is going to be suing because mail-in ballots. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of Trump for voter integrity, and Gavin doesn't like that. Gavin will sue you or make a law to stop anybody from ever looking into any fraud. The Nick Shirley Act as well was signed into law. It's really weird, right? It's a really weird. It's almost like, dude, it's like, bro. Imagine that. Imagine being like, this is what I'm doing, right? I'm going to, as a public leader, I'm going to make sure nobody ever looks into government fraud. Like, bro, I think you might be committing fraud. Like, you might be committing fraud. We'll get to that. You know what? Let's go. I'm going to show you what I meant. I'm going to show you what I mean by I almost blew my hand off. This was so dumb. It was so dumb. And I was like, you idiot. By the way, affordability crisis. I forgot to put this one. This actually will connect to another story that we're going to do. So let me add that real quick. Yeah, last night, I'm an idiot. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but
I'm fucking tired.
So look, here's what happened.
Absolutely necessary. So this time,
so I bought this little cocker. It's a little cocker for my life card.
And that is some dumb shit. Let me show you what I did, which is fucking stupid.
Sorry for the language.
Don't fuck with guns when you're tired, like unless it's absolutely necessary. So this time, because like I should have done this the first time, I'm going to clear the fucking gun, right? Okay. This life card is a
I should have cleared. I don't know why I didn't. I should have cleared it. This is 22 Magnum.
Okay, so
this is what I did.
It's clear now. Okay, we can all see that it's clear. This little clip that I just bought.
I'm an idiot.
A single.
I feel embarrassed watching this.
Single hand cocker, right? So essentially, you put your thumb here. and you can.
Honestly, it is cool. I'm
It's
very
just
happy
a
with the
3D
purchase.
printed clip thing. Yeah. Okay. So here's what I did. I held it like this.
That's so stupid.
And I go, oh, I have to decock it. And I just went like, I went and I held the trigger and I went like that. Okay. But I didn't do that. What I did was I went like that. And
it slipped. So yeah, that's what I did. I'm an idiot. I am admonishing myself. I am taking my own shame. Luckily, I didn't have to go to the hospital yesterday. It would have been par for the course if I had blown a hole through my hand. I would have been like, this makes sense. Like, yeah, yesterday I got robbed. That's awesome. Remember how I told you guys I was like really behind and I really just needed to go and like get the job done? So look, I don't normally do this. I normally close my tonneau cover, right? There's a tonneau cover right here. It's very, you can't cut through it. It's aluminum. There was a $500 IQ saw in there, a $350 chop saw in there. You son of a bitch. Oh, I see myself. Haha. I literally just fucking, don't you fucking start with me, you stupid phone. Bluetooth off. Phone off. Phone off. We're doing phone off. Fuck you. All right. I don't know where I lost you, but I know that I'm back up, I think. Oh my god. Why? Why is it every day? Why is it every day? Okay, we're back to. I had my light in the perfect spot. I don't know where I lost you, but I was talking about. For Zack's first words are "son of a bitch." Okay, I don't know where I lost you, but I got robbed yesterday. As I was saying, I think we got to this point. Yeah, they stole like, I don't know, over $1,500 to maybe $2,000 worth of stuff. They stole my saw, everything like that. And as I was saying before my soundboard decided to freeze, my hand We require 5 minutes of extra show. Okay. I was talking about what was in my truck. Okay. So yeah, I call my building, right? And I go, "Hey, I need the footage, right? Because you can see right here, there's a camera. And look, this is where I was parked. I was literally, look at, there's the camera. I was parked right here, right? And I told them, I said, I need the footage. And they go, oh yeah, so the cameras are running and recording, but we can't access the footage. We've had this problem and we have IT guys coming. I go, what does that mean? I go, like, I don't know what that means. What do you mean? Okay, the cameras are recording. Can you see the footage? And they go, no. I go, okay, when can you? They go, we don't know. I go, did the IT guys say when they're coming? And they were like, no. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? I don't understand. Anyway, so yeah, yesterday sucked. I'm tired. I just got robbed. All the profits that I made this week from hustling my ass off, they're gone. They're gone. No big deal. Fuck me, right? Sorry. Trying not to swear. It is an uncensored show, but I'm just doing it out of courtesy. Look, you guys don't have to. If you want, there's X Money or there's the Beacons link in my bio. I am gonna have to buy all new tools. I have to buy them. I have jobs that I need them for, unfortunately. But there's a Buy Me a Coffee link. It's in my bio. If you want, if you don't have to. If you want, Amiri King, he posted something and he was like, because I don't like doing that, but Amiri posted, he goes, bro, put up a GoFundMe. I'm like, I don't like asking people for money. He goes, no, dude, screw that. You work hard. The community wants to help you. He convinced me, so I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll ask. If you can't, you can't. Don't give me any money if you don't have extra. Other than that, yesterday sucked. I almost blew my hand off after working my ass off after somebody took all of my hard-earned money, and I'm okay. I'm not too mad about it. I try not to get too mad about things. I try to just let things go. I'm minutes away from a hit country song. They stole my stuff. I think I was saying that in the chat, right? I think I was saying this, right? Oh, where is it? I would say 90% of the time I lock this tonneau cover. But you can see all this debris. You see the debris, right? I worked Saturday. I got home. I literally crashed. I didn't leave the couch on Sunday. I couldn't close my cover because all of that stuff was in there. And because I couldn't close my cover, the one day I have a locked garage where you can't get in without a fob. And I was parked right in a corner under a security camera. I didn't think anybody would steal my stuff. That's my fault. I should have thought that somebody would steal my stuff. The irony is 2 days ago, I bought a new dash cam, and it comes with a rear camera, and I haven't set up the rear camera yet, and I also need to buy an extra battery so it will be recording 24/7. That was 2 days ago. They robbed me the next day. So by next week, I would have caught them on camera on my own frickin' thing. It is what it is. Life sucks. Then you die. Anyway, let's go. Let's go. So one of your neighbors, oh, it's definitely one of my neighbors. It's definitely one of my neighbors. 1,000%. If I ever see somebody with a $500-something IQ saw, I am going to lose my mind. They will be there. I hope that's caught on camera. All right, enough about me. We usually start the show with 15 to 20 minutes of nonsense. All right. For some reason, that bothers some people. It doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother you. It's my show. Do what I want. I do what I want. All right. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button, guys, because we are going to try to... I need to now... this needs to be a second source of income. All right? We got to... And I don't want your money. I'm just saying, if you feel like it, great. Buy me a coffee. But I'd rather you just share this, like this, and get me to the tops of the charts. I'm going to break the internet. on Rumble. I already did this over and over again on different platforms. Now I've decided I'm going to become Rumble famous. We're going to do that. Mayor of Rumble. Bye. Okay. So make sure to hit that like and shit. All right, moving on. All right, on top of the theme of the day, for those of you that have never seen the Daily Breakdown before, here's how we do it. First, I go on a rant about my own personal life because it's my show. Second, we talk about the theme of the day. Today's theme is TDS Tuesday. Nobody has more TDS than Gavin Newsom. And we explained that story, the main story that we're going to the featured story that we're going to be talking about. But on top of that, we also go and we do the news, right? I go on the internet, I type in the word news, News, whatever pops up. We break it down, hence the name of the show, The Daily Breakdown. This is what we're breaking down. We got, for something from BBC, another TDS story that works perfect for today. Thank you, Bumba. On 8 tongue depressors. Hold on, let's go snatch that one up. All right, hold on. Is this Frozen too? No, it's not. Okay. Let's see here. And on top of that, 8 tongue depressors are yours. Bro, it's like, dude, yesterday's show was so funny when I was watching the replay. I've been watching the replay to go back and do clips, and then I forget to do the clips because I'm so busy. The tongue depressor and hockey sticks portion of yesterday's show was quite funny. I think that everyone had a good time. All right, 8 tongue depressors. Thank you very much. Bumba in the chat. Appreciate you. But to be completely honest, guys, if you're going to donate anything, I'd rather you do it through Buy Me a Coffee than Super Chat, because Super Chat, Rumble takes like half of it. But no big deal. Like I said, I don't really care too much. Okay, let's go. Where were we? Yeah, we got story from BBC, Iran again. Supreme Court win. This is going to be pretty much the main story. And ex-deputy Sean Grayson dies. First, let's do this, okay? We're going to... Nope, not that one. Not that. There it is. There it is. Last night, I ordered a pizza, all right? I try not to eat pizza. I actually don't buy bread anymore. I've been doing really good. I'm down. I was up. I was down. I mean, we saw last week when I did that whole Tyler Robinson recreation. I looked at my tummy and I went, "Oh, you've had a rough week," and it's already gone. I shed weight so fast, but I broke my. I've been working really hard. I bought a $3 pizza from Domino's. Okay. $3. No, that's not a joke. That's a real thing. Right now, you can go on Uber Eats, and they are offering a $3 pizza, and it really is a 2-topping medium $3 pizza. So this is kind of a joke, right? I'm like, F your $20 burrito, right? But I noticed this. We're not gonna watch this debate, but I noticed that Chris Cuomo is kind of doing the Nick Fuentes thing, right? And I just wanted to touch on this real quick. Chris Cuomo is a moron. Right? He's a moron. He's just like anyone else in the grifter class. He doesn't have any faith or belief or convictions. He moves where he believes. He's like a Megyn Kelly, okay? Like that would be the better analogy. He's like Megyn Kelly. So like I remember he's tried to like sneak into MAGA, and now he's like going back, and he's attacking Bongino a lot, and now he's like doing the $20 burrito is a hoax, by the way, right? And I'll prove it to you, okay? I'll prove it to you right now, because where's the $20 burrito? Where does everybody think the $20 burrito reference is coming from? Like, what establishment do you think they are saying $20 burrito, right? It begins with a C and ends with a Hipote. They keep on saying $20 burrito. That's a hoax. Right? Let's see here. Well, fuck it. I don't care. I already doxed myself plenty of times. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Chipotle. Let's go to Chipotle. Oh, come on. Yeah, fine. Done. Go. Let's go to Chipotle. Let's see how much a burrito really is. Yeah, I know it's closed. We're just looking for... Oh, it's $13. Okay. It's $13. Shut up. Stop it. $13. And on a $25 or more purchase, you get there's a coupon here for like a free burrito for 20 if you buy. So let's say you bought 2 burrito bowls, you would get a third one for free. That would be 3 burritos for $25. Does that make sense? It's a lie. Look, a $13 burrito bowl is actually not terrible, right? Not terrible. I'd say 10 would be better. But we're nitpicking over BS. The $20 part, I would probably assume, is because delivery fees and what have you. If you order something like that $3 pizza, I got a $3 pizza and I had to have a minimum of like $9. It ended up being $19 for a pizza and some buffalo and some boneless buffalo. Whatever. I'm paying the convenience fee. But there is no such thing as a $20 burrito. The Chris Cuomo and all the other it's a talking point. It's bullshit. It's bull crap. Haha, caught myself. It's bull crap. These people they're like Bongino has been talking about this, but I've been talking about this longer than Bongino. I'm talking about in the recent because not his fault. He was working in the FBI. But when Dan Bongino was on his little break, we were holding it down, right? Me, Sean, and some other people, Dana Lash, and we're talking about ops, right? And Dan is now talking about ops, and everybody's paying attention, and I'm glad, right? And I'm not like, well, I was doing it first. No, I'm saying I'm glad Dan's back to talk about what we have been talking about. Ops, OPS, operations, PsyOps, psychological operations. A PsyOp is not a conspiracy theory. It's a real thing, and it really happens. And what is one of these PsyOps? The affordability crisis, right? A PsyOp would be, like, there's a bunch of them. There really is. There's a bunch of them. But it could be better described in more, like terms that people understand. Fake news. Fake news would be the better way to describe it. Fake news, most of the time, I would say the vast majority of the time, is what a PsyOp is. A PsyOp, it's a messaging tactic, it's a propaganda tactic, it's a way to push a narrative. These are psychological operations, and they're designed to demoralize. Demoralize is a long tested and tried tactic in politics, because the way that they see it, the people pushing the narratives, the fake news, the psyops, what have you, the way they see it is, if you're demoralized on election day, you will stay home. That's how and they're right, by the way. They're right. If you're demoralized, you are more likely to stay home. It's a fact, right? More likely to stay home if you're like, screw it, I don't care, as opposed to being motivated, right? So we have to counter message and motivate while debunking the demoralization. But what happens is sometimes you end up getting into a food fight where both sides look bad, because it's like one side lies, one side pushes an op, and then the other side's like, no, actually, you're wrong. Which is why, and Sean brought this up on his show yesterday. I was watching that, and he was I'm happy he did it. He stole my miso. Sean stole my miso, and he can steal it. It's his. I gave it to him. But miso, right? Mock, insult, shame, ostracize. That's why I've been telling you for a very long time that mockery, shame, call out, comedy, it's the better way to deal with these people. Validation by basically treating them seriously is the wrong way to do it. This is why I have a problem with Andrew Wilson sitting down respectfully with Candace Owens and saying, here's $300,000. Let's put you on the map as a serious person that should be taken seriously. It does the opposite of what you think it's going to do when you treat ridiculousness with seriousness. Samuel, how do you buy me a coffee? Oh, the same way you do with most things. Go to my Beacons link. It's in my It's in the show notes. It's in the bio, the Beacons link. It'll be right there on the it's like the second or third one down. But here, let me show you one more time. I appreciate it, guys. And like I said, you don't have to help out, but if you want to. But on my Beacons link, it's right here. So you go to Beacons, right here, buy me a coffee, second one down, you click that, and then you can enter any amount you want. You can do monthly support if you want. You don't have to, but that's how you do it. I got to change that. I got to change these because I have super cool updates now that I've learned how to do AI. All right, back to what I was saying. Yeah, you have the mockery, insult, shame, ostracize. That's MISO. MISO. Mock, insult, shame, ostracize. Validation, like having a serious conversation with a moron like Chris Cuomo about $20 burritos, which don't exist, is the goal of Chris Cuomo, right? Because the title of this, the $20 burrito problem Trump can't ignore. If you are actually sitting there arguing with Chris Cuomo about $20 burritos, anybody watching is going, burritos are $20? They're not. I just showed you. They're $12.95 at Chipotle, which is probably the most expensive burrito place. I mean, we in Texas, we have breakfast tacos. They're not breakfast burritos, they're breakfast tacos. Don't get me started on that shit. But they're breakfast tacos. Okay. I get a bean and cheese with bacon. Right. It's like $4. It's awesome. It's so good. It's a homemade tortilla, like a little old Mexican lady made it. Right. I'm choosing to pay for that. I could easily go over to McDonald's and I can get the two blah 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 two whatever two what is it called, breakfast burritos? I don't know, and I think those are like $6 or something, right? It's basically the point is we don't actually have an affordability problem, right? What we do have is slightly higher prices than we used to on easier accessible items that we used to go out and get ourselves, and now our lazy asses are going through drive-thrus or going through retail. Look, if you go to the grocery store, it's really not that bad. But validating moron by this, and I love Andrew, by the way. Me and him, we talk all the time. Andrew's great. But Andrew has I call it the evangelical problem. It's a problem that Charlie Kirk had too, okay? Seeing the best in people. It's a problem. Sometimes you need to see the demon, right? And I call this the wolf analogy, okay? There's sheep, there's sheepdogs, and there's wolves. Now, both the sheep and the sheepdog have a very difficult time seeing the wolf in sheep's clothing in the herd. They can see the wolf outside, right? But they have a very difficult problem seeing the people who are misleading them because as good and faithful servants of God, right? They try to see the best in people, right? Then there's people like me. I'm not a sheep. I'm not a sheepdog. I'm a wolf too. And I can see that I can see them. Right? The thing is, I don't want to kill the sheep. Right? I don't want to hurt the sheep. I want to get that wolf. And it's something in me where it's like, look, I know what I am and I'm proud of what I am and I'm fine with what I am, but I am a wolf, right? And I'm not sitting here this isn't self-deprecation. A lot of people think that when I say that, it means it's self-deprecating. No, it's acknowledgement, right? God uses bad men to do good things, right? And you just need to acknowledge it. We see the wolves. Andrew, which is good. It's a good thing he doesn't, right? Doesn't. I do, though. And that that son of a this guy right here. This guy right here, that's a wolf, dog. That's a wolf. All right, moving on. We're going to get to the news too, but look, I don't know how I feel about this, okay? No, not that one. This one. Okay, starting here. Darlene Graham. I don't think it would be the end of the world if she becomes Lindsey Graham's replacement. And I could be wrong because I haven't had time to really deep dive. But I think Trump might have got this one wrong. And I think that Trump is endorsing her because it's Lindsey Graham's sister. And I think that maybe maybe you shouldn't vote for her, right? And look, that South Carolina is not my state, but I'm going to show you why. I think the way I think. I've been, like I said, I haven't deep dived, but I dipped my toe in. I dipped my toe in the water, okay? I dipped it. And the water is not perfect, all right? So, Norman and Graham, they're polling very, like, dead even, okay? Like, we got 47.9, 47.8. These 4% of undecideds, if the polling is accurate, which it never is, will decide the election. The election's today, and we're going to send out the messages right now, okay? We're going to jump on to our sway. And by the way, guys, I have an update on the... remember I told you guys there was going to be an announcement for sway? Well, I just got the email. I'm allowed to tell you what it is, but it's not coming up until next month. Well, not next month. A few weeks, 25th. So this will be coming up on, I believe it's the 10th. So a couple of weeks from now, there's going to be an opportunity for all of my followers to make some money, not make some money, to be given some money to do potentially a party, right? So on Sway right now, this is what we got, right? We got my page. Don't do it now. You can get your own page, and if you get 25 people to join, then Sway will give you $500 to host an election party, right? They're just going to give you the money, and it's a trust me bro thing. But, you know, the election party doesn't necessarily have to be in person. You can do it online. But they're essentially just going, hey, we really want to get out the vote, and we want to incentivize people to organize, right? Or assemble, right? The A in MAGA PAC. And that's how they're going to incentivize you to do so. So basically, the way it works is I'm going to be giving you a link on September 10th. If you start your own Sway page and you get 25 people to join, you qualify for $500 to host your own election party. It can be online, it can be in person. They're basically they want to give you the money so that you can order a pizza and some beer and, you know, go buy arts and crafts and, you know, pin up a board. But it really is. It's just a motivating factor so that you guys can get help get out the vote. Because like I said, ground game, that's how we win elections. Essentially, you just need to commit to a minimum number of 10 attendees. You're going to use my link in order to qualify for the program, start the party, and then we are going to be connected in a network, right? So you would actually be part of the Misfit MAGA PAC network as underneath my network, so that we can pull members from each other. So it's a really good way to get out the vote. I've been promoting Sway. They do not pay me. All right, they do not pay me. I am not paid by Sway. I have been promoting it for free because I actually believe in it. This is not I am not sponsored by them. They don't sponsor the show. They don't give me money. This is just me. This is what I want to do, right? Always be ground gaming. Motivate, post, act. All right, let's go MAGA. Motivate, act, grind, achieve. Post, assemble, call, text, knock. That's how we win elections, okay? Now, how I help you win elections with Sway is we go to the elections that are happening today, and we remind people. So we have Oklahoma, and where's South Carolina? Why isn't South Carolina on here? Okay, well, we have Oklahoma. Let's just go, let's go and copy and paste. Boop. Perfect. Let's send a blast. That's going up to, that's one person. Who cares? One is better than none. All right. And we'll try to send that out for the South Carolina primary runoff. Okay. Oh, that's why. I have no voters. And yeah, look, I picked Ralph Norman. I don't think it'll be the end of the world if Darlene Graham wins. But if you ask me, here's why I'm picking Ralph Norman, okay? So, we have this. Sean posted this. I didn't see this post before. This is from a while ago, but at the same time, it's significant.
Actually, one of the things I didn't mention, we had 83 consumers go to work last year. That's more than since 2017. And we've done some major things at our agency. We're working on all new policies and procedures, putting internal controls in place. We've got a diversity inclusion committee. I want to be a leader in.
Hold on. So what was that?
We've got a diversity inclusion committee.
No. Yeah. No.
A diversity inclusion committee. No, I want to be
I don't know. That's a lot. That's a big one. That's a big one. A diversity inclusion committee. That's a big one. You look. There are certain things where it's like, look, I'm not saying she's an awful person. I'm saying, like, when Mike Lindell was like, we want to give a path to citizenship. That's a big one, right? You can't have those two. Those are two conflicting beliefs. You can't be a conservative and believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion. You can't. You can believe in equality, right? You can believe in diversity, but you can't believe in DEI, right, as a practice.
Leader in state agency when it comes to that. We are really rebuilding the foundation of that agency.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Healthcare and affordability.
There's also this.
Last week, I've gone around this entire state talking to as many people as I possibly can. And you know how many of them brought up Taiwan or national security? Not one. They're talking about the rising cost of healthcare and affordability. So that's what's important to me.
Notably, though, Reed, when I asked her later if there was some kind of legislation or specific proposal that she would put forth to deal with the concerns about affordability, she wouldn't give us an answer and only said, we'll see about that when I get there.
Yeah, look, like I said, I agreed with her on a couple of things when I watched the debate. She actually did a really good job on the debate. I watched it. I was watching her debate with Norman. Norman did okay too. Norman did fine. She seemed to be really aggressive, like, you know, more like like she took an Andrew Wilson course. She tried to get him in a lot of gotchas, and you know how I feel about that. I don't consider that a debate. I consider that more of trickery, but to each his own. I haven't watched this yet, but everyone's been posting it, so I'm going to watch it with you. This is Lawrence Jones. I believe this was this morning, or maybe it was yesterday, but check this out. I haven't seen it yet.
With the Republican Party, we pride ourselves on being a meritocracy. And I feel comfortable saying that this was done based on merit, then I'm okay with it. But if you don't think this was a meritocracy and she's only in the position because of her late brother, I think that's a different story. So we just got to take that into consideration. You can't say DEI and meritocracy and then have someone that is essentially an empty vessel on some of the biggest issues. But that's all South Carolina. It's always going to be up to the people to decide on what they want.
You know, I agree with it. Look, this is going to be up to the people of South Carolina. Okay? I am not in South Carolina, but I talk about difference. I'm an American, and I want America to thrive. So I weigh in on different states' elections all the time. You don't have to take my advice. I'm not a constituent. I can't vote in this election. If I lived in South Carolina and I were to walk into a voting booth today, my vote would be for Norman just because of what I just showed you. But again, I haven't researched it enough. So I'm just giving you my pick. Take it or leave it. I'm going Ralph Norman, right? If Darlene Graham wins, I personally don't think it'll be the end of the world. I think she said some things that I disagree with, but so has Trump and so have a bunch of other people. So take it with a grain of salt, but that's where I land on that. All right. Now, let's go to the news. All right, organized crime arrests in A66 crash investigation. Is this one from New York? Oh no. This doesn't. Volkswagen Passat. Is this not an American story? Yeah, those definitely aren't Americans. Look at those haircuts. That's the UK story. I don't care. Let's move on. We don't have enough time. Iran says it's fully prepared to counter widened U.S. economic sanctions. No, it's not. Moving on. Lockerbie bombing trial postponed days before it was due to start. Don't care. Moving on. Here we go. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, okay? Let's go. Trump scores Supreme Court win on mail-in voting restrictions before midterms. Guys, this is a huge win. If you haven't seen this yet, if you haven't heard about this yet, this was very, very big. Very big, okay? I didn't think this was happening. Maybe I've just been jaded. But in a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court handed Trump administration a victory on Monday, allowing it to enforce Donald Trump's election integrity executive order restricting mail-in voting ahead of the November midterms, and this applies to every state, I believe. I'm pretty sure. The High Court lifted an injunction that had blocked the order in 23 states that challenged it after the administration appealed in July. The U.S. Postal Service and Justice Department said they would immediately implement the revised mail-in ballot restrictions after the ruling. Most immediately, the ruling clears the path for the U.S. Postal Service to check its distribution of mail-in ballots against a list of citizens maintained by the Department of Homeland Security. But it also significant political victory for Trump administration as it has advocated against the widespread use of mail-in voting, citing what it believes to be heightened vulnerability to tampering and voter fraud. Most recently, Trump slammed what he called the suspiciously high volume of mail-in ballots cast for Cynthia Rahman in the 2026 mayoral primaries. That's the Spencer Pratt race. They don't have voting booths. Everything's by mail. This is a quote from Trump. I don't think a Republican can win in California unless you pass the Save America Act. Fact. They're going to get rid of mail-in voting. Like many onlooking conservatives, Trump pointed out that after election night, the vast majority of Democrat votes had been for Nithya Raman. I think that we all watch. You remember? You know how I say it, right? I saw the thing. Right? When the votes go like this, right? And then all of a sudden they go up and they pass whoever's here and then they just level out. I saw the thing. That means they effing cheated. That's what that means. And no, it's not a crazy conspiracy to say so. I saw the thing. All right. When you see the thing, that's fraud. When you see the thing, that's fraud. That's fraud every time. When the votes just pour in after election day for one candidate and somebody's winning and then somebody just comes out of nowhere. It works the same way in the crypto market. When you see a pump and dump, when you see charts that don't follow the bell curve of normal statistical behavior, the high likelihood is there's some type of fraud involved. This isn't crazy. This is math. 256, definitely. Or 246, actually. It's 246. Definitely 246. It's a Rain Man reference. If you haven't seen that movie, right after this, you go watch it. All right. So we'll see how this works out, but let's get to the post that I have here. Obviously, this is just another story. Here, let's go to this first, okay? Gavin Newsom announces that stop the fraud and I'll sue. Go ahead, punk. Stop the fraud and I'll sue. It's so wild, man. It's so wild, dude. Stop the fraud and I'll sue. Gavin Newsom announces that California is suing to subvert the Supreme Court ruling from today and block Donald Trump's mail-in ballot security EO. Despite SCOTUS already following the mail-in restrictions to take effect, pending review, California will be suing again to block these, or this is a quote from him, to block these Orwellian rules. Has he read Orwell? Because you are what are you talking about, bro? What are you even talking about? No, not that one. Here, let's go. Newsom. I had it. I think I accidentally closed out Newsom mail. Let's just try that. Oh yeah, here it is. Following today's SCOTUS ruling, California will sue again. Cool. Stop the fraud and I'll sue. Stop the fraud and I'll sue. There was another one. The headlines are going to confuse people. Here's what actually happened. The court did not decide whether or not the order is legal. What the court did not do, it did not hold that President... Okay, sure. The court did is Trump... Yeah, no, TLDR, bro. TLDR. There was a breakdown, and I got rid of it. What? Oh, it's not Newsom. Here, let's try this. Mail-in voting. There was a breakdown, and I didn't bookmark it. Otherwise, I'd just go grab it. Mail-in ruling. Come on. Who broke it down? Who broke it down? Son of a gun. Well, essentially, there's something about like barcodes and okay, here we go. All right, here we go. This isn't the post that I saw, but this is pretty good. Okay, so what is now permitted, right? The Massachusetts injunction while the appeal continues. The DHS can proceed to compile and send state citizenship lists. Okay, this is a big one. The DOJ may prioritize enforcement of existing federal election laws. The executive branch may now implement the order subject to applicable laws and court orders. Today's ruling removes the case's bar on USPS rulemaking. And there's details in this case that were breaking down like exactly what they can and can't do, but essentially it's going to let's see here. Mail-in ballot. Democrat officials, a judge in Massachusetts. Yeah, the Massachusetts judge. Screw you, dude. Something about barcodes and something about tracking. I'm sorry, guys. I've been a little slammed and I didn't. It's something about barcodes and tracking, and that's going to be a big way to enforce fraud that does happen despite the ruling. So that's why Gavin Newsom is so scared, because this ruling may not essentially stop them from cheating, but if they cheat and they had already planned to cheat, they're going to be able to track the people that were not eligible and voted a lot easier through the USPS's new process. So essentially, let's say after the midterms, let's say 4 or 5 months after the midterms, right? They go and they look back and they do all of the barcode scanning, and they cross-reference it with the citizenship list, and states have willingly sent out mail-in ballots to illegals and people that should not be able to vote. Then we could see massive fraud adjudicated with evidence, and it will finally be beyond a shadow of a doubt that Democrats tried to steal or successfully stole certain elections. That's why Gavin Newsom is so shaken right now. It's not about whether or not they will be able to cheat. They already are cheating. They already are getting away with it. This is going to be a tracking system that will be able, you'd be able to track down the people who did not vote legally after the fact. So they are going to be scrambling. It's only a couple of months away. They're going to be scrambling. They're going to be like, if Gavin Newsom can't sue and win, they're already screwed because they already set this up. So keep that in mind. That's the big takeaway from this. They will definitely be like puckered butts all around on November 3rd. They're going to be like, do we send them? Do we go and do we get them? We already mailed them. We already mailed them. Do you see what I mean? If they have already mailed them out, they are screwed, dude. All right. So that's the big takeaway from that. Also, I think it's crazy that Gavin Newsom is just signed this law into act. The Nick Shirley Act. They made a law. Dude, they made a law. So Nick Shirley, if you don't know, look, by the way, when Nick Shirley first came on the scene, I remember I made this post, and I have been wrong before, and this is one of those times where I was wrong, and I'm happy to admit that I was wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong, right? Like, look, I said right around the time Nick Shirley just sort of started up, and it was because he was shaking some hands with some people that I wasn't really too sure about. But I think that was just him feeling people out. Okay. But I said, don't go all in on this kid. Right. I go, don't go all in on this kid because I've seen far too many people just jump out of nowhere and end up flipping and end up being on the other side. I'm still not 1,000% sure, but I'm pretty confident that this guy is genuine, right? Like anything could happen. He could be the next Tucker. Anything could happen, but I see no evidence of it at this point. I think this kid really is a force multiplier for the right, and he really is. Because, look, I see James O'Keefe, and I see a grifter, right? I don't see an independent journalist who does everything because he truly cares about the truth. I see a guy who's making videos for clicks. Has James O'Keefe done some really good things? Has he had some really big bombshells? Of course he has. He's actually done some great work. The other 85% of the work he's done is for clicks, right? So how do you circle that square, right? I just go, you know what? I just won't take him seriously at all. Shirley, however, I don't see him doing things too much for clicks. Sure, he makes the t-shirts, but I think that he actually truly believes what he's doing, and I think that he's actually really doing good work. More like a Scott Pressler, right? He's committed to something. He's doing the work. He's putting in the hours. He's actually going after them. And the way that you can tell is how the left is reacting to him. They made a law with his name on it to stop him from exposing them. They didn't do that for James O'Keefe. All right? They didn't do that for James O'Keefe at all. Laura Loomer, nothing. They did it for him, which means they are afraid of him. And if they're afraid of him, I like them, right? So I know we're getting to the end of the show. We're going to go a couple of minutes over, just a couple minutes over.
I'll get a $4,000 fine.
Here it is.
And
Hold on.
this should come as no surprise, but Gavin Newsom has officially signed into law the Stop Nick Shirley Act. Now, the official title of this
See you later, great guy Gary.
AB 2624, and it's made to protect immigration support service providers. So I exposed the fraud, and Gavin Newsom said, there is no fraud in California. I said, well, there might be some. The Attorney General Rob Bonta said, there is some fraud, but we're on top of it. But then his wife was said, hey, it's a crime now to look into fraud inside of California because she's the one who authored this bill, AB 2624. So what is an immigration support service provider? Well, an immigration support provider literally means quite literally anything that provides support towards immigrants. So that could be legal representation, legal assistance, case management, translation services, or even healthcare. And the co-sponsor of this bill is called Churla. Now, Churla received over $80 million in taxpayer dollars for immigrants, and that includes illegal immigrants as well. So do you remember the hospices or the Leering centers in Minnesota? For instance, this hospice, Holly, Angels of Hospice, they couldn't even spell holy, right? Well, today, for instance, Holly Trinity, another one of this guy's hospices, this guy got caught for over $27 million in fraud. Now, underneath this new law, if this immigration support service provider who provides services to immigrants gives me a piece of paper, a written demand to a person, business, or association to not publicly post or publicly display, I could not post my video of me exposing the hospice. But I say screw it, and I post the video anyways, I'll get a $4,000 fine. And not only that, I'll also have to pay for the attorney fees of the immigration support service provider as well. Now they're saying, well, it's only if it causes fear, if it causes someone to be threatened. Well, if I go expose a fraudster, are they going to be fearful that their fraud is going to be caught and they're going to get prosecuted? Of course. I'm just one man out here trying to teach the world how to leer a little bit here and there. Now they're coming after our First Amendment. So this Wednesday, we're not going to be quiet. We're actually going to do something about this. We'll be at the Capitol on Wednesday. I'll be speaking and a few other people as well, like Steve Hilton, Mike Gates, the Senator Tony Strickland at 11 a.m. So come and show up. When I met Elon Musk, he told me something interesting. He said, well, the left protests because they don't have jobs, so they can attend all these protests. The right, on the other hand, or people with common sense, a lot of times they have jobs and they feel like their way of being productive is by going out and actually working. But if we don't actually stand up, we'll actually lose everything. Because think about it. If they're willing to openly violate our First Amendment and the freedom of press, imagine what they're going to do next. And the crazy thing is, this isn't even some conspiracy theory. This is legit. Underneath this new law, it says someone may make a written demand to a person, business, or association to not publicly post or publicly display. That is a complete violation of the First Amendment.
Correct.
I hope to see you guys all there, Sacramento, at 11 a.m.
All right, so if you're in Sacramento, definitely go to that. He's right. Like, the First Amendment, the founders put the First Amendment first because it was the most important. I told you, all these things behind me, right? They're not as dangerous as this thing. This microphone in my hand is more dangerous than all of the guns behind me because I can do a lot more damage with this if I wanted to, right? I can inspire people to do horrible things with this right here. For example, Candace Owens. Look at all of the what's her name? Lindsay Clancy supporters out there. That's the First Amendment, right? I don't think we should stop them. I think that they have the right to be that disgusting, right? But TikTok has created that culture, right? This is more important, more dangerous than those, right? And by the way, with how dangerous it is, you can also do more good. So you can use your voice to inspire people to do good things. You can use your voice to expose fraud. You can use your voice to expose bad behavior, like I try to do, right? And anyone that tries to stop you from doing that, they are violating the number one thing that the founding fathers thought was the most important. So, Nick, I was a little skeptical at first. I'm happy to be wrong about that. I think that he's doing great work, and I think that he should be supported. All right, 9:04, let's do the shout-outs, and then we will raid Bongino. Let's go raid Dan. Where you at, Dan? You know what? That I definitely need as a soundboard button from Ace Ventura. We need that, Dan. And you can't shoot your finger off with a microphone. It was technically would have been my palm. I would have had a hole in my palm and it would have sucked. Oh, I can't believe I did that. It's like I've only had one other instance like that, and it was when I was cleaning my gun and I pulled the trigger by accident, and I had it pointed right at my TV, at my AR, and as soon as I pulled the trigger, I went like that. It wasn't loaded, but I didn't check. It wasn't loaded, and my guns are usually loaded. I didn't check, and I was like I just did the like thing. I wouldn't have hurt anybody. It wouldn't have gone through a wall or anything like that, but I've only done that twice in my whole life where there was two of those like stupid, tired mistakes. We call them accidental discharge. This is why you never point your gun at anything you're not ready to shoot, right? Because you can accidentally pull the trigger. You can accidentally do things like that. Anyway, I'm getting Dan. I'm getting his link right now. We're going to do the shout-outs, and then we will raid Bongino. I know a couple of you have already gone over to Bongino, but if you have not already gone over to Bongino, I will put the raid in the chat, and you can just stay right here, and it'll take you over automatically, or you can click it. Okay, raid. And V, okay, we are about to raid, and I'm going to shout you out until it goes away. Okay, right, here we go. We have Hollywood Eden on the edge, T. Mitchell, Bumba, Rhodeshead, Han Jancock. Bad Moon is here. What's up, Bad Moon? Film What Matters, Crazy Moan McGroin, EO Cox on the edge. All right, Samuel. Thank you very much, boys and girls. I will see you tomorrow for Woke Wednesday. I'm going to go to work and hopefully not get robbed. See you later.